Hello students, good morning. Last online period of history, we started with a first lesson, that is sources of history. And this year, the first lesson, we are going to study about medieval period history. This medieval period history, as I told in first lecture also, this medieval period history begins from 9th century CE to 18th century CE. And this history is considered to be a medieval period history. To study history, 4 factors are very important. 4 factors all the children should know. What are the 4 main factors, very important factors for studying history? First, it is individual. Second, society. Third, it is place. And fourth, it is time. These are very key factors. Now, sources of history. In last online lecture, we studied the important sources that are divided in 3 parts, that is material sources, written sources and oral sources. Little more behind we'll go and we'll just discuss our ancestors. They have left many things behind. Many things they have left for us. From that things we can understand from which period that history started, or that things which are left behind, that are the evidence to know the past. Now you just think over few things you can search in your house that are so past. You can collect that things, and that things will tell us how many years ago these things were brought in my house. That will tell us. For example, you can go for old coins. Many old coins are there. Now these coins are of, some are made of gold, some are of silver, some are of copper, some are of metals. Even you can find out that coins. On that coins, many things are noted. Date is noted, that is year is noted, in which year. Who was ruler? If you go for old coins, you can find old coins which ruler has, which king has done that coins. You can guess that things very easily. And by that, this is one kind of homework for you, a collection of old coins, and you'll know who was the ruler and who did this coin of gold, copper, silver, and you can note down that. Now also you can see our Prime Minister, the currencies were changed. Now this 2000 currency, newly 200 currencies, these are newly brought in our country. The same way, if you go behind in the past, during the medieval period, what kind of currencies they were using, which coins they were using, that things you are going to know when you go so past. Now another thing, these were the coins. Books also, books are old books. Some diaries are written, some letters, some newspapers, you get old newspapers, some reports, some government files are there, biographies are there, old books are there. That also tells us about past. These diaries, old diaries, many things are written. Letters are there, many things are written in that letters. Old newspapers are there. You collect that information. You can know the past. Now these are material sources. This comes under the material sources. manuscripts are there which are written thousands years ago. Why these manuscripts are called? What is the reason? It is called as MANU, manuscript. Why it is called? These all things are written by hand. Menu, MANU, menu means handwritten work. The Latin word for that menu means hand. Now, where these manuscripts were written, how they were written, that we have to study in this lesson. When you go across to visit many temples, many places, some books are there, like Mahabharata, we can say, Ramayana, and newly written books. There are a lot of books which are newly written. How they came to know these things? They studied about it, and then that things were brought in front of us. These books might be religious books, some practice, some lives of kings, it might be some about medicine, some about science, some epics, some poems, some plays. These are the manuscripts. There are, moving towards again, some buried things are there which were under the ground, which were buried, and then when a newly construction, new buildings were started, we used to get that things used to come out. That also tells about history. Which period these things were made by which king, how they made it, what kind of material they used for making these things. Metal tools, articles, these daily use things were made. They were found under the ground. And these artifacts tells about the past. Then it is stone carving. You know, when we visit temples, many things are written on that walls. They are written on stones, on copper plates, everywhere. Many places, when you go and visit old temples, many things are written, many things are carved on that temples. That were the orders, that were the historic things. Who has constructed this temple, who has constructed this fort, and which year it was constructed, who was the ruler. Many things are written. This we have to study. And slowly when we go through this whole medieval period history, we'll understand. Main thing, traveling to the forts, traveling to the temples, traveling to the holy places, that is very important. We can learn many things about the past. And in various languages they were written. It is difficult nowadays to read that kind of languages. The old people, they mostly read that kind of things, and that things were brought in front of us, and so we are able to understand when that fort was built, when it was constructed, who was the ruler, who ruled for how many years. That we can understand. That are the records. These are the records. And even during that time, a king never used to move or give messages or pass the messages. Sometimes they used to write on the stones, and that message was passed to the people around that kingdom, in order to know what are the rules and regulations here in his kingdom, and how to obey the rules which are brought forward by that king for the Rayat, we can say. What are the rules that were written, and that were the evidence, that were the happenings, how the rule of that king came forward in that places. Then monuments, old buildings. Next point it is old forts, tanks, temples, church, palaces. These are the historical monuments. Now, under these historical monuments, there are primary sources, secondary sources. Primary sources, that is something that originated from the past. That are example coins are there, monuments are there, that are we get it from past. Secondary sources, some books are there. From that books we come to know about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, other kings, that is about Mughals, about Nizam Shah, and many other rulers ruled here in India, and which are written later on, that is after 1900, we can say. That are the things in secondary sources. So slowly we'll move towards this history, medieval period history, and I have give you some question answers in first week, and our second week I'll give you, after this session, I'll give you some question answers. Read the lesson nicely. You'll understand. Again, when you come back, revision will be done. Thank you and have a nice day.